Alright, well, our next episode is Galaxy's Child. It's episode number 90 of Star Trek The Next Generation, and it originally aired on March 11th, 1991. It was written by Maurice Hurley from a story by Thomas Cartosian, and directed by Winrich Kolbe. Now, as the show opens, Picard invites LaForge to welcome Dr. Leah Brahms on board the Enterprise. Starfleet has sent her to study LaForge's engine modifications, and LaForge became acquainted with Brahms when the computer created a holographic representation of her during Season 3's The Booby Trap. Now, he knows that he and the real Leah Brahms will be good friends, he says. However, when Brahms beams aboard, the tension begins immediately. A possessive Brahms accuses LaForge of fouling up her engine designs. Now, LaForge tries to smooth things over, but isn't successful. Now, meanwhile, Data notes an unusual energy reading in a nearby planetary system, and the Enterprise investigates and finds a previously unknown life form. The life form lives in space, extracting energy directly from the stars. The creature probes the Enterprise and then attacks it. Picard orders only a low-intensity phaser burst, but the creature dies moments later. Picard, who is appalled at what they've done, heads for his ready room. Data begins sensing new energy readings from the creature, though, and the crew determines that a baby exists within the creature. They release the baby by using the phasers as scalpels. Now, when the Enterprise tries to leave, the baby attaches itself to the Enterprise and begins drawing energy. Picard allows the baby to suckle while they adopt the same heading as the mother took. Now, in engineering, LaForge and Brahms work together to produce a more energy and stabilize the ship. And when the Enterprise reaches the baby's home, several of the adult creatures swim out to meet the Enterprise. Just in time, LaForge and Brahms develop a method to get the baby to release the Enterprise, and the ship flies to safety. And that is the end of the episode. Now, Michael Piller really thinks highly of this episode. In fact, he believes out of the 4th season that it is the best concept that they had the whole year. And really, when you come back to the theme of returning characters from the past or ideas from the past, this really turned out very well. Leah Brahms, as I had mentioned, came from the 3rd season, and Geordi used the holograph projection of her to help him with another catastrophe that the Enterprise had during the episode Booby Trap. And through that, he kind of fell in love with that version of Leah Brahms. But of course, that version was not reality. And Geordi was very convinced at the beginning of this episode that he and Dr. Brahms were going to get along just fine. Well, obviously, that is not what happened. And to top it all off, he finds out that Dr. Brahms is married. So there's no way a romantic possibility could even happen, even if they did get along, which really disappoints LaForge quite a bit. So we can't identify with that as far as the holodeck is concerned, but how many times do you have an idea of somebody on paper or just maybe even first impressions, but as you actually get to know the real person, they turn out to be somebody entirely different? I think a lot of us can identify that in many ways, and you can see LaForge trying his best to even woo her over dinner, get the two of them alone and have time to talk. They even crawl in one of the tubes together just to have some time to chat, and that's when he finds out that she's married. So, unfortunately, LaForge does not have a lot of luck with romance on Star Trek The Next Generation, and as a result, you really don't see him in a lot of romantic scenarios outside of a couple of these episodes here. So, too bad for LaForge, but in the end they decide that they can be friends, even though it's not quite what the other thought of each person, really. And the second story, too, with the Enterprise having a living entity really acting, believing the Enterprise is its mother, is a unique idea, too. And you can really see the horror on Picard's face when the Enterprise accidentally kills its mother. They really did it just as a defensive move, but they kill it, and Picard is devastated by that. And just as he's about to go into his ready room, he discovers that there is another creature. And that's how they go into towing the baby version of this entity to where the mother was actually going, and they are eventually able to get it back to safety. So, two great ideas into one episode always makes a good combination. And you really do have A and B stories going on in a lot of these episodes here. So comment below, let me know what you thought about this one. I thought this was very well done. Another highlight of the 4th season. Subscribe, and I will talk to you later.